Good morning, sunshine. So I just talked for 5 minutes with myself. I have an early onset case of talking with myself because we had a bad Wi-Fi connection. So I think the video failed, but it looks like it's working okay now. So good morning, everybody. I give you a bow of friendship and respect. Yesterday we talked about veganism in a non-aggressive, non-mean way. And we had a great discussion, I think. We had a record number of comments in a short period of time. We had 271 comments, none of which were from me, because I'm talking to you. And so check out that video. It's on youtube.com/elephantjournal now. And that's where, if you subscribe, you can get all of our videos, including my more focused, somewhat more succinct discussions with great people, yogis, spiritual teachers, environmentalists, cyclists, runners, vegans, non-vegans, chefs, all that kind of thing. Buddhist teachers, my Buddhist teachers. If you are watching, please say where you're from, like Michael just did, and or where you are right now. And if you feel like it, share the mindfulest moment of your last 24 hours. So today we're going to talk about something that's very simple but very difficult, which is how to be, whoops, I'm trying to hide this number on the screen, which I find very distracting. All right, how's that? All right, so I want to talk about something very simple but very difficult, which is how to be happy. Now, why, you ask, would I know anything about how to be happy? I think that's a great question. I don't think I am that happy. I think I'm very forward-looking. I think I'm very energetic. I think I'm very genuine, for better or for worse. If I'm up or down, I try to be pretty genuine. I try not to be very fake. Once in a while I am fake, and I hate it. But I do have a fundamental level of well-being. So maybe that's more what I'm talking about. Buddhist people, I grew up in the Buddhist tradition, we have a difficult relationship with the word happiness. So I live in Boulder, Colorado, which is often named the happiest city in the US. So what does happy mean? Let's define what we mean by happy. Is happy when you're like, yee ya, yes, but that's also just one form of happiness. There's another basic level of well-being and goodness in our daily lives that, as Tony says, serenity could be a form of happiness. So maybe throw out some words. What is the kind of happiness that you would love to see in your family's life, in your lover's life, in your friend's life, even in your enemy's life, in your world, in your society, in your neighborhood, and most of all, most personally, first of all, in your own heart and life? So it's not just the sort of running around at a birthday party when you're 4 years old, where you're like, and then you trip and you're like, ah. So that's not exactly the happiness we're talking about. From a Buddhist point of view, and I'll begin with this basic framework, which I love. I love it, I love it, I love it. I love it so much, it was on one of our tote bags. I'm going to go get that tote bag. If you want to be happy. All right. Okay. So, this is our current tote bag. It's organic cotton, made in the US. We are dedicated to the mindful life. Is that, everything's backward. I don't even know why I show anything. All right, I'll just film it for you. How's that? So it's got a nice quote on it here. So, now. Nowness is the sense that we are attuned to what is happening, The past is fiction, and the future is a dream, and we are just living on the edge. But this is the one I wanted to show you guys. So, this is an old tote bag. See, there's a new tote bag. Great shape. Here's an old tote bag. All right. So if you want to be unhappy, think only of yourself. Right? So there's nothing wrong with thinking about ourselves and thinking about our unhappiness and thinking about our lunch and thinking about our arguments and thinking about our lives and thinking about our homes and our childcare or our homework or our car or our bike. But that alone won't be enough, right? So if you want to be happy, think first of others. So there's some quality of humility, of genuine humbleness, of thinking about others and taking joy in the well-being of others. So that's the basic notion in Buddhism. And it's not just a Buddhist thing. Buddhists don't own this notion of happiness. Eleanor Roosevelt, we have this great blog, Yoli in LA, our editor on duty. If you could put the Eleanor Roosevelt quotes, top quotes in the blog so people could read her. She said she was basically miserable until she was, I don't remember the age, but maybe like 40. And then she discovered that she was genuinely happy and fulfilled when she was serving others, when she was helping others. And from that moment on, all she wanted to do was dedicate herself to others' happiness. And I love that notion. So it's not just a martyrdom thing. It is, as Yvon Chouinard of Patagonia, the founder of Patagonia, said, there is self-interest in, well, his quote was saying in environmentalism, but self-interest in service, self-interest in caring about the world, self-interest in caring about others. Because when we care about others first, not only, it's still important to take care of ourselves, but when we care about others first, we find ourselves naturally, we let go and we relax and we laugh and we let go of our grip of trying to cling to pleasure and push away pain. And our egos kind of just relax and give up and let go, like tight shoulders finally letting go. I'm going to acupuncture today, and I'm going to get the, they've just been made famous, but the suction cups and all that. It's like when you have the suction cup on you, it takes all the tension into one spot, and then after a minute, they take it off, and your body just goes, and it's amazing. It's kind of like when you push your arms in a door frame, that trick we all did when we were children. So it's really that simple, but we can see that the world is not happy because we can see that the world is sick, you know. While in many ways the world is better, it's safer, there's less war, there's less murder, there's still far too much rape, far too much domestic violence, far too much destruction of our, elephants are on the cover of the New York Times today. They've dropped in population by 30% in only, I think, 10 years. Orangutans are dying because of palm oil. A lot of palm oil is consumed by well-meaning vegans. So we need to all find a way to be of service, whether it's to our community or to our church or to our school or to our loved ones or to the homeless. Instead of treating the homeless like vagrants, we could treat the homeless, and most homeless are genuinely good people who just, need a leg up or some help or to at least to be acknowledged as human beings. Here in Boulder, Colorado, we've always been very, dare I say, liberal and generous and kind toward the homeless. We have great homeless facilities, but now we don't really have enough. And a lot of the sort of rich folks who are moving into town, their attitude is to try and get rid of the homeless and make the homeless unwelcome and put spikes on benches and things like that. And while that may work in a sort of short-sighted way, if by working we mean getting rid of the superficial level of a problem, it doesn't help anyone, and the homeless just have to go somewhere else that is maybe even less thoughtful and kind, and the problem gets worse. And we see after every national tragedy, when there's a shooting, there's calls from both sides of the aisle for more more work with the mentally ill, and yet what are we doing for them and for us? And and none of this is meant to be a bummer. It's actually, it will help make us safer if we are kinder. Poverty often gives rise to crime. It's not an excuse for crime, but it often gives rise to the conditions where people, well-meaning people, say, damn, I need to feed my family and I got no way out. Or it gives rise to drug use or all kinds of things. So anyway, that got really heavy. But basically, I just want to say happiness is happy and it's awesome and we all want it. So how are we going to get it? We're not going to get it by getting a even bigger TV. Although having a big TV can be nice. Right now I'm staring at a very little phone. There's nothing wrong with having a good life, but just dedicating ourselves to others is a huge relief. So I think that's about it. If you have any comments or questions, I just wanted to put that little flip, that little logic flip. Well, I can't. Everything's backward here, so I'll just repeat this. If you want to be happy, think first of others. I love that. And if you want to be unhappy, think only of oneself. And that, my friends, is a simple, short one. I want to give thoughts and thanks to Sake, our mindful sponsor. There's all kinds of meal delivery services. It's $1 billion industry or whatever. It's a huge opportunity in the business world. And yet 99.9% of them are horrible for our planet. Tons of plastic packaging, tons of crap, not really very good food. And Sunbastion is an exception. They're doing sustainable, they're doing organic, they're doing pretty eco packaging. I like the compostable stuff. And in any case, far better than any other that I've heard of. And I've cooked, I think, 3 meals from Sunbasket now, at least 2. I'm a vegan boy, so I'm going with their vegan offerings, but it's really cool. It gets you to cook, and actually, I mean, for those of you who don't cook that much, like maybe me, it's an amazing opportunity. So thank you. We only want to work with mindful sponsors who are good for the planet. You can get 3 free meals, I think, if you're in the U.S. only, from Sunbasket, so get that link in the comments if you want free food. And check it out. All right, I'm going to go through your comments and questions, and if you have any comments or questions about happiness from a Buddhist or mindful point of view, great. And then we'll do 2 minutes of meditation. All right, Michael from the Philippines. Hello. Dawn from North Carolina. Alana from Toronto. I was in Toronto a year or 2 ago for the yoga conference. I read some from my book there. South California. Matt. Holly in Vancouver. Never been and I want to go. Ashley. Happiness is overrated. It's a lovely comment, and Ashley is one of the most cheerful people I know. In the Buddhist tradition, we say cheerful birthday, not happy birthday, because cheerfulness is thought of as a fundamental state of well-being and goodness, and happiness is thought of as a temporary state of mind. And the notion is you don't want to wish a temporary state of mind upon someone. You want to wish that they have a fundamental level of well-being. Cody from Minneapolis. Robin from Twain Harte, California. Tony Francisco is suggesting serenity as a nice way of thinking about true happiness. Stormy, Florida, Robin. Peace and wellness, contentment, peace of mind, happiness is when you feel healthy inside and out. That's wonderful, from Michael. Inner peace, Jeremy. Yeah, the notion of inner peace, though, is difficult, right? Because we don't want to make inner peace into what I call gated community spirituality, where you're trying to keep your peace and then push away anyone who's troubling. In Buddhism, we say our enemies are our greatest teachers. And by enemies, we don't mean, terrorists or people trying to kill us. We mean that irritating person you have to work with, or your irritating brother, or your, our everyday enemies. All right. Sarah from Oregon. Happiness to me is being content and quiet. That sounds nice. Holly, content, acceptance, just being content with where I am at in life, who I am, what this person did, not feeling the need to make that top dollar, but just being content with everything and everyone around me. How un-American of you, Holly. We all must lust after money. Annie, amen. Tony, ability to have basic services for all. That's a wonderful definition of happiness. Many of us, like, talking about this kind of thing can take, clean water or healthy earth or clean air for granted, right? It's so easy to take what's going right for granted in our lives. Clean water, clean air, non-GMO foods, organic foods, basic human needs, living clean infrastructure. That's what makes me release oxytocin. There's all this controversy about GMOs right now, and it's so silly because fundamentally what we're talking about is organic, right? Not non-GMO particularly. Organic includes non-GMO, and it's basically the notion that we don't want to spray our food, we don't want to spray our land, we don't want to spray our lungs and our air with pesticides, which is just a fancy word for poison. Tracy, letting go of ego makes me happy, and dogs make me super happy. Yeah, dogs are... You can either meditate or you can have a dog, but that's really just cute and not really true, because fundamentally we still have to be kind to our dogs, and we have to be walk our dogs and be healthy, and a dog is a big responsibility. But yeah, dogs do make us happy. Annie, and dogs are a wonderful opportunity of letting things drop. I often will come home late at night. Actually, not often, but when I do, I feel really bad. I haven't fed my dog, I haven't got him out for enough exercise, I feel horrible. And how does he greet me? Does he greet me by yelling at me and by, listing how bored he was? And he just is like overjoyed, and he's just ready to go for a walk. And so I go out, and it's like, you're just present. Dogs are so thoroughly present sometimes. Eileen, truth. Oops. Cody, perfect way of words. What is that called? Cupping. Yeah, cupping. Well, it's just a part of acupuncture. But yeah, go to a good acupuncturist. Frank, trust. Valiant, big love and support to you. If you want to write anything, let us know about your experience. We would love that. And if you need any resources, let us know. Really. Maybe everyone here can give Valiant a little love. Valiant, you have a cool name. Anyway. Eileen Lyon, you also have a cool name. Thank you for speaking a language I can truly understand, the language of love. Bless you. Well, all of you should try out a couple free meals, if you're in the U.S. at least, from Sunbasket, most eco food delivery service I've seen. All right. Kelsey, we've been very close to being homeless. That's with 2 grown adults with full-time jobs. It's a problem. Yeah, life is tough stuff. I mean, my mom lost my childhood home basically because she couldn't make the balloon payment. She never made more than $12,000 a year. And that's why it's so important to try and serve your community, because while I grew up very poor, I had a safe community with good education, and that helped me get my life together in a way so that now I can take care of my mom. Jess, didn't miss anything, or if you did, you can re-watch the video or watch any of the videos on youtube.com/elephantjournal. Chloe, I've been homeless. It can happen to anybody. I am from a good background, and at the same time, I even had a good job, but circumstances left me with nowhere to live. People need to remember that could be them. Amen to that. Yes, you can listen to the whole thing on youtube.com/elephantjournal. Just subscribe there. I don't know what no DARPL is, but you could explain, Tony. That would be great. Christy, we are all only one situation removed from being in a similar situation. Amen to that. Namaste from Belgium. How cool. From Fade Bakar. Marilyn, Christy. No need to donate, Deanne. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but if you want to donate to something, there's plenty of good causes. What I would suggest today, because it's on my mind, is the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust. Please check them out. And Yoli, if we have any articles about them, maybe you could put that in comments, along with any articles we have about homelessness, about compassion, about Tonglen, about Pema Chodron, about this notion of empathy and service. Yoli, I did write an article. So everyone, a couple years ago, there was this big trend of writing these articles like date a girl who does whatever, date a girl who sews, date a girl who plays music, date a girl who travels, all that. So I wrote a sort of rebuttal of that there was one data boy who travels, and it was sort of this description of this like Trustafarian guy who just travels all the time. And so I wrote sort of rebuttal data boy who serves, and I think even though it's a little bit of a silly article, it talks about this notion of service in for men or women in a probably as eloquent as a way as I've ever been able to do. All right, Jessica, come to Mexico. I'd love to come to Mexico. I went to Mexico for the first time this year. Hadn't traveled much. Being present, Deanne. Well said. Okay, finally a question. Oh my God. Thank you, Monica. How does one disconnect from an adult son who pulls me in, then gets angry and pushes me away? The guilt is overwhelming, even though no one would know. So, Monica, I can't know everything about this situation, so I can only speak to my limited experience that arises from your question. But what I would say is, I have a blog called Idiot Compassion. In Buddhism, there's a notion of compassion that isn't good for us or good for other people. It's not compassion to be true, genuine, helpful compassion. It has to be good for the person we're giving to, good for us, and the gift itself has to be sort of good for the world. And so read that blog, and it's really helpful. It's sort of a tough love blog. It's not calling you an idiot. It's not calling him an idiot. It's not calling anyone an idiot. The compassion itself can be idiotic sometimes. So there's a blog, hopefully Yoli will put in the comments, called Idiot Compassion. And hopefully that's helpful. Generosity and a grateful heart is happiness, from Christy. Yeah, so just going back, Monica, to your question, my mom was probably the most generous person I ever knew. And so she really had to work with that notion of idiot compassion, because we can give in a very kind of endless way, and that can lead to burnout, or that can, in a funny way, it cannot be good for the person we're giving to sometimes. Okay. Great advice from Jill, for Monica. All right. Hello from Greensboro, Alabama. I lived in Boulder for a short time. Beautiful city. Seeing my family and friends happy is the best feeling. There's a great article in the New York Times today about Boulder, if anyone wants to read it. Earthquakes in Kiwi land. Big love to you, Shantae, and may you be safe. Okay, I rushed through to the end of comments. I think we probably have a link from Yoli about the free meals from Sunbasket. I'm just going to make sure. Just want to make sure people take advantage of that, since it's kind of a cool offer. Yeah, there it is. Let me know what you think, genuinely. That would be great. And thank you so much to everybody. We can now meditate for a minute. If you'd like to join, I'll be interested. This has been a record-breaking video so far. I'll be interested to see if people tune in for meditation or tune out, because it's sort of boring. All right, so take a good posture. And if you don't think meditation is boring, give it some like or comment or something, because I always feel like I'm sort of like the boring dad at this point. All right, so let's take a good posture. Root your sit bones. You can take your shoulders up, back, down. Feels so good, and relax. Breathe into your heart and relax. Often our lungs and our heart are very tight. You can breathe all the way up if you want to, up to here. Often we don't breathe and fill our lungs up all day. So let's take a really deep mindful breath. Breathe into the areas we haven't breathed. Let's try that again. Feels so good. Okay, so now let's all put our hands together in a bow of mutual respect and warmth and genuine happiness, and bow to one another wherever you are in the world. And let's meditate for 2 minutes. So the way we're going to do that, we're doing shamatha. If you'd like to join today, eyes are open, good posture, and then relax. Take a really good posture, a perfect posture. Let's do it. And then relax. Find your breath in and out. Breathe in. breathe out. If we do this, this is the easiest way to train our minds and our hearts to not get caught up in our storylines and our complaints and our strategies, and to just come back to the present moment, gently but firmly. Let's really do this today. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. If you're doing it fully, you'll find your body naturally relax. So now you could think of what's the worst or the best, the most extreme thing that's happened in the last 24 hours. What's on your mind? Even if it's just a song that you heard, what's on your mind? And label that thinking. That's just a thought. And return your attention to your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, hands together. Mutual respect, friendship, warmth. Today, next time you're feeling unhappy, flip that and try and think, how can I serve others' happiness? And before you know it, you'll have forgotten about your own unhappiness and you'll be feeling joyful in giving. With respect and jolly good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. MST, or you can subscribe on youtube.com/elephantjournal. For all these videos, which are free, you can get 3 free meals from Sunbasket, a lot of the free word, and our newsletter, which is our best comment by far, content is elephantjournal.com/best. And Yoli, maybe you could put that in the comments. And happy September, right? Happy new moon. We have some good articles on new moon stuff, if you're into all that. Yeah, Ashley, boredom is actually good stuff, so you can relax into boredom. I have an article about that, Yoli. Maybe you could leave an article about hot boredom and cool boredom from the Buddhist tradition. Yeah, and check out Sunbasket. Let me know what you think. Thanks, everyone.